everyone, and welcome to JNUC 2021. Sarah and I are excited to be here with you and to share with you this amazing learning opportunity that was built by educators for educators. As a former classroom educator, we know wholeheartedly and understand the value of instructional time and the imperative need for classroom management. Jamf Educator was created to address the timeless challenges and scenarios educators face daily in their classroom. We're looking forward to spending a little time with you today. Please jot down a few of your thoughts, any questions that might come up, or any ideas that come to mind. We will be live with you at the end of this for question and answer. So let's get to know us a little bit more. I'm Emily Froese, and I am a leadership executive here at Jamf, former classroom educator, public administrator, all things education, everything from bilingual second grade to junior senior English, coaching everything under the sun. I loved my time in public ed, but I equally love my time here at Jamf. Sarah, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Olson, and I'm coming to you from Wisconsin. It's starting to get a little bit chilly up here, but it could be 90 degrees, it could be 20 degrees tomorrow, so we just don't know. I am a training and development manager here at Jamf, and I too come from a background in public education. I taught middle school choir for 8 years, and I taught elementary music for 3 years. And so we're really excited today to show you how Jamf Educator, specifically the Jamf Teacher app, helps solve everyday problems and challenges that teachers face.
So Sarah, with any good learning opportunity, let's start off with a question.
Great. So what we'd like you to do first is just think about a time that you may have experienced being given a piece of technology or a program or a software, an app, pieces of technology to use in your classroom, but you weren't actually taught how to use it. And think about those emotions behind that. What happened when you were given that technology, but were never properly taught how to use it in a meaningful way in your classroom?
So in an effort to raise awareness of the Jamf Teacher app, our team took the opportunity to create a virtual professional learning experience to empower our users. We know many schools use Jamf to manage their Apple devices, but we don't know how many of them are taking full advantage of our full ecosystem here at Jamf. Feedback shows that teachers are unaware of the powerful tools that their schools already have with their purchase of Jamf. By introducing Jamf Educator, the Edtech and teacher can take a journey to ensure they know the apps that are available to them and how they have the ability to enhance the classroom experience.
So let's talk about it. What is Jamf Educator? Jamf Educator is a virtual professional learning opportunity, which just means you can take part in this at home or as part of a school. That provides both educators and those responsible for educational technology, whether you're called an EdTech, whether you're a library media specialist, whether you're a teacher who's part of a tech committee. We're providing those folks a custom-built platform to learn all about the Jamf Teacher app. And again, in a practical and applicable simulated environment. So what's really neat is that Jamf School customers can experience this simple yet powerful tool, the Jamf Teacher app, without actually having to set up the app in your environment. So what we mean by that is you're able to go into the platform, learn about the tool, and actually practice using the app in this simulated environment before going live in front of students.
Who can be a Jamf educator, you might be thinking? With two tracks dedicated to the role of EdTech and educators, each containing 4 stops, this self-paced learning journey provides the user with the knowledge, skills, and confidence to implement and use Jamf Teacher to enhance classroom communication and workflows. This provides a simple tool for teachers to help their school succeed with Apple. Anyone can earn the Jamf Educator status. Let's hear more, Sarah.
So I'm super excited for everybody to learn about how they can earn their Jamf Educator status. But before we jump into the actual platform, we want to think about, again, that question that I talked about at the beginning of our session today. We know that here at Jamf, when we partner with educators, our goal is to help make the classroom experience even more powerful. And we know that as we reflect on the quote by Helen Keller, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. So what we'd like to do now is show you a short video that helps you go through Jamf Educator. As you're listening to this video and watching it, think about how these features within the Jamf Teacher app can help you with simple challenges that you face every day as a teacher. And trust me and Em when we say we experience some of these challenges every day. Classroom management, differentiation, feedback, student interaction, and the like. So just sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy this overview video about the Jamf Educator program that highlights the different features of the Jamf Teacher app. Boop, boop. We are so excited today to introduce you to Jamf Educator, a custom-built platform for teachers and those responsible for educational technology to learn about the Jamf Teacher app. Now, before we dive right in, let's take a step back and think about that while education has changed over the course of time, many challenges in education have actually remained the same. For example, classrooms will continue to be filled with children from a variety of backgrounds, with different learning strengths, different learning needs, different life experiences, and a variety of interests. Students will continue to occasionally not follow directions and, well, be kids with developmentally appropriate behavioral needs. As kids push limits and boundaries, classroom management is a timeless and ever-present challenge to not only novice but experienced teachers as well. Those two examples of those timeless education challenges are what make teachers so incredible. The art of education speaks to the teacher who is willing to try new ways to meet the variety of needs of their students while maintaining an engaging and positive learning environment. Now, let's shift for a moment and think about what has changed in education over the course of time. While a variety of items may come to mind, we are going to focus on technology, specifically Apple and Jamf. Jamf Educator explores the intersection between technology and those ever-present, timeless education challenges, including classroom management, differentiation, feedback, and student interaction. Let's dive in and see how Jamf Educator provides teachers an engaging learning environment to see how the Jamf Teacher app supports classroom management, differentiation, student interaction, and feedback. You can find Jamf Educator by navigating to educator.jamf.com. On the homepage, you will notice 4 different tiles. The first 2 tiles are 2 different learning tracks dedicated to educators or those who are leading educational technology, Edtechs. It is worth noting that Jamf Educator can be an individual self-paced learning journey or part of a group professional development learning experience. Let's go into the Educator track first. Each learning track is broken down into 4 stops. Let's tap on Stop 2, Classroom Management and Jamf, and take a look around. You must tap Register for each stop and log in with your Jamf ID. Don't worry, creating a Jamf ID is free and very easy. Once registered, you will notice that each stop has a station overview. First, an introduction video that outlines what features we will be focusing on in the Jamf Teacher app. Then you will notice 2 sections called See It and Try It. The See It section has a step-by-step video walkthrough of how to use the feature within the Jamf Teacher app itself. The next part, Try It, is fantastic because it provides you with a simulated environment to practice using the app without actually having the app deployed onto your device.
Next, you will see an Apply It section, which includes practical classroom application ideas. We like to think of this section as the Use It Tomorrow bank of ideas. Lastly, the Design It section provides you a chance to create your own asset for immediate classroom use. Take a look at the Design It tasks here in Stop 2. After you complete one stop, you will be awarded a certificate for your professional development folder. Once all stops are completed, you can take a short quiz and gain your amazing Jamf Educator badge. Let's go back and now take a look at the learning track for EdTechs. The Edtech Track is designed to provide tools and resources to those who are leading professional development on Jamf Educator. The Edtech Track is broken down into 4 different stops as well to correspond with the stops in the Educator Track. Let's tap on Stop 2, Classroom Management and Jamf. Each stop has 3 different sections: an introduction to provide context around the app and the feature, delivery and facilitation guides, and related materials. Finally, let's take a look at the last 2 tiles found on the Jamf Educator homepage. The Keep Learning stop includes a variety of resources for those looking to further their learning. Resources include materials from both Jamf and Apple. The Integration and Tools tile provides resources for educators to learn how to use other apps on their iPads. Take a look at the resources below. We have covered a lot of material today, so let's cover the highlights of Jamf Educator. Jamf Educator is a program for educators to learn about the Jamf Teacher app and how the different features address educational challenges, including classroom management, differentiation, student interaction, and feedback. There are 2 separate learning tracks, one for educators and one for those responsible for educational technology, the Edtech Track. The tracks are broken down into different stops. After an educator completes a stop, they earn a certificate. After the completion of all the stops, educators can take a quiz and earn their very own Jamf Educator badge. Jamf Educator focuses on challenges found in every classroom, regardless of location, age, and content area. We are so grateful you have taken the time today to learn about Jamf Educator. We are now here to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
All right, Sarah, thank you so much for putting that video together. As a visual learner, I truly appreciate you walking me through and showing me how this experience really looks, feels, and sounds like. So hey, what are a few of the functions with Jamf Teacher I can use right now?
That is a great question. Okay, so another way of thinking about that is if I'm a teacher, why on earth would I care about this app? Or how is it going to help me in real life when I have a million 7th graders running around and, running into doors that are closed, all the things. So, what I love about Jamf Teacher, and let's just kind of set the scene for a minute. So when I taught middle school, one of my classes was 7th grade boys chorus, and I had about 50 kids in that class. And the idea of giving them an iPad and asking them to carry out a task had a lot of things that potential problems, right? Because I couldn't necessarily see all of their iPads, and kids are kids, right? So they kind of like to test the limit. So the first thing that I love about Jamf Educator is being able to say, if this is my student's iPad, I'm going to say that I only want this app present on this iPad and this app present. So when my student turns on their iPad, instead of having access to all of these different apps, they have access to the 2 that they need to carry out the assignment. And what's really nice about it is when I go into the Jamf Teacher app itself, it's really easy to do. I have to press a couple buttons and it's done. So that's one of the reasons that I love it. The second reason is, and again, I don't know, maybe it's an exercise of reflection. Think about what you were like when you were a 7th grade student. I don't really remember 7th grade too well, but maybe that's the point where you're just growing and changing so much that you don't really remember. But anyway, when I had my middle school classes, sometimes I would need to stop what they were doing in the middle of class and I need to get their attention. So I had all of these different kind of management techniques, clap after me, things like that. But what happened was sometimes when my students had their iPads in, was I'd get everybody's attention except maybe a handful of kids' students because they were still heads down into their iPad. Jamf Teacher allows you to use this function called it's called attention. And what happens is when I press a button on my Jamf Teacher app, it temporarily locks every student's attention or every student's iPad. And then what's nice too is if I need to send out a message, maybe it's a time indicator. Hey students, we have 5 minutes left in class. I need your eyes on me so you know what to do during pack-up time or something like that. The attention function has come in. That's just a game changer for management of my students and their devices. And then the last one is when I harken back to my days teaching elementary music. And sometimes I'd want my kiddos to go explore a website where we're learning about families of instruments. And there are some great resources out there that some of the orchestras around the world would put out for students to specifically learn about instruments. And I'd say, okay, students, type in www.viennaorchestra.com /kids /blah blah /, whatever it was. And of course you could imagine what was challenging about that. Kids would spell things incorrectly and we'd spend more time navigating to the actual website than interacting with the content within that website. So there is a feature within Jamf Teacher that's called Web Block, and it allows you to either block specific websites or when you touch on the Safari or whatever navigation tool you're using on your iPad, you can actually have the students be immediately sent to whatever website you're looking for them to get into. So it's a huge time saver, and it just removed a lot of barriers that sometimes happen when you have students of all ages and you want them to go into a specific website. So it's amazing. It's a game changer.
It sounds like you're giving some instructional time back to the educator and the student in the classroom.
It sure does. And you think about it, sometimes people will say, well, I just want to use technology, but for what reason? This is a great way to show that it can save time, it can help you better manage your classroom, and it can help you make the device really be set up so that students are exploring, which is what devices allow kids to do so easily, instead of having to go across some of those barriers that are common and hard.
Awesome.
So with that being said, just to kind of recap what we love about Jamf Educator is it really looks at those challenges we see every day in education. And if you want to learn about this app without actually having to implement it on your device and roll it out in the middle of a school simulated environment, it allows you to practice ahead of time and go through these exercises that teach you about the apps, how they're useful, very practical classroom applications, so that you can troubleshoot some steps that might be tricky or I should say it's really easy, but like that are maybe not intuitive, and helps you feel very fluent before actually getting in front of a live audience.
Awesome. And with that, Sarah and I want to thank you for joining us today, and we will see you momentarily for our live question and answer. Have a great JNUC.
See you soon.